Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Always interpret the message as it best resonates. Always know that the energy tends to go to the person that needs it, right? So you're a magnet, and who and what is supposed to come into your life, not necessarily what you want to come into your life. Now, if you're new to this channel, you know that I like to look at everything. So we don't just look at what goes on the surface. We do look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. It helps you look at your situation from a different perception, which a lot of times is healing all on its own. However, a lot of times we need to incorporate new habits, new behaviorisms, and ways that we deal with the situation. When we're blocked, it's mainly because we're seeing the situation from a limited perception, when that's usually makes us feel disempowered. And our habits and our behaviors and the way that we deal with the situation is karmic because it means learn, right? That's what karma means. We associate it with bad, though, because most of the time that we don't learn. And then there's this pain that's associated with the karma. It's like, oh, I dealt with this person. This person really hurt me emotionally, made me feel this way about myself. Maybe again, still makes you feel a certain way about yourself, right? But any person that can make us feel any which way about ourselves is karmic. If a person comes into our life that creates a new awareness for us, whether it's good or bad, well, it's all for our evolution. Unfortunately, the bad lessons we learn the most from. But again, there's pain. So what happens is we wind up a lot of times bringing that pain or that baggage or dealing with somebody, we should say, a lot of times that has that pain and that baggage still attached to them. So they're dealing with us through an experience that has transpired in their life. It just didn't transpire with us. And that's the problem with our spiritual blocks. Our spiritual blocks are created when we had to go through an experience that made us feel limited, that made us feel not safe, that made us feel not good enough, that made us feel from a lower consciousness outside of our true self. The true self is that higher self, which is a God part of self, which is the energy of unconditional love. So anything that didn't make us feel safe is outside of the range of unconditional love. So one time we went through an experience that took us out of our natural energy and made us not feel safe. And what happens is that we form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with that situation. The problem is if that we don't learn, and learning a lot of times is not just going through the experience and seeing the psychological and the emotional aspect of what happened and the healing that needs to be integrated in order to recreate the balance. But it's all about reconditioning the body, reconditioning the situations that have transpired from those situations. What happens is if we adapted behaviorisms because we went through experiences that were traumatic, and that's what could be I lived with a narcissist, I lived with a sociopath, I dated this person, that person. Again, our relationships are traumatic because they're intimate, and anything that you create intimacy with, you want to feel safe, you want to feel protected. And today, a lot of times in relationships, people don't feel that way. They don't feel safe, they don't feel protected. They actually go into relationships with their guard up, with a shield up. So they can't manifest a good relationship because they're not coming from a true sense of self. So understanding why you do shadow healing. You do shadow healing to actually integrate those situations that you go through that were traumatic, that you did need to create the behaviorism, but now you have to recondition the way that you think and recondition your body and mind because you don't want to deal with every situation thereafter through seeing it through the trauma, so like reacting to the situation like you're reacting to that trauma. That's what happens. when people go through traumatic experiences and they don't integrate the spiritual lesson, they always repeat the same behaviorisms that were built on survival. It becomes automatic behavior. This is what it means when we say, oh, it's time to awaken and become present and have self-awareness and have self-realization, is to become aware of what your habits are, what your behaviorisms, how you get in your own way, how you stop yourself, understanding why those spiritual blocks actually happen. When you're able to actually understand and integrate the spiritual lesson, well, you change your life, you change your outer world experiences because you're changing your own energy. So these readings go deep because of that. Those readings are like a little bit longer because of that. It's not that I don't look at what your person really feels about you, I do, but the thing is that you keep people that have spiritual blocks, they relive the same undesirable life experiences that keep them in a place of feeling limited, that make them feel like they can't have a relationship. So that is why I like to do these readings. Obsession. So I feel like someone has very addictive personality, and you could have a very addictive personality too, Virgo, but I feel like, well, I mean, like goes to like, so you are a mirror of whom what comes into your life. I just feel like your energy is changing. And I feel that this person, the more that you pull away from this person, because I feel like you're in separation from somebody that does have a very strong connection to you, but the more that you pull away, the more obsessed they're becoming. And so the more that they try not to think about it. And this person usually is like always in control, feels like they're in control. I feel like this person feels like their life is completely not in control right now. Their life is actually in shambles. And so, and the thing is, this person tends to like to make everyone think that they're perfect. So they tend to live by their persona, which isn't real, obvious. And we can never be perfect. If we feel like we need to be perfect, it's because we actually feel inadequate. And if we feel like we're inadequate, it's because we don't know who we are. If we don't know who we are, it's because at some point we lived in survival, whether or not, and now I'm feeling like again, you're connected to someone that grew up in an environment that was very imbalanced. So they didn't have a very good childhood. They were made to feel as they needed to be the healer, the fixer of the family. That was the role that they played. So they need to be seen through the lens that they're perfect. And again, there's no such thing as perfect. And when we try to be perfect, what happens is that we're suppressing real parts of ourselves. So I do feel like your person has addictions. Because they don't like who they are, and everybody that doesn't like who they are, believe them, that has addictions. And again, the reason why is because of negativity. The person just doesn't have good relationships, and they don't have good relationships because they never come from their true self. They never let a person 100% in. The relationships are very surface, and so this person doesn't have like I said, a belief that good relationships can actually happen. So this is the underlining energy that, so I feel like give, they don't do anything. They don't give enough. And so there's a sense that if they don't make it clear where they're really asking for what they want and really get close and have like, then they can always keep it on the surface, and they always tend to like have one foot out the door. They don't trust people. They don't trust people to really be in their life. And when people are in their life, they're kind of not positioned on a 50-50 like playing field. It's almost like this person likes to elevate themselves. And so they always wind up with people that, you know, are lower hanging fruit, people that don't feel good about themselves, people that overgive, that overdo, that actually love a lot, but I feel like they're not healed. And I do feel like at one point your person did perceive you that way. They did perceive that you were someone that would love a lot, give a lot, and not expect a lot. So whether or not they thought that you were needed healing or what they didn't really like, I think one way or the other, it was more less like I can tell like you're someone that when you love, you give a lot. Like you're trusting, you're naive. I left you before you can leave me. This person's all about their ego. So I feel like they left you before you left them. However, they did so because you were asking questions, which told this person, I'm not going to stick around. Like you've had conversations with this person, pretty much saying, like, this isn't really what I want. You weren't giving this person, or this person tends to go for people that they, are a little bit lower hanging fruit, that they don't have to put in that much time. And so, they'll stake out people that have a lot of good qualities, but that those people don't know their own worth. So they overgive. So it's like the thing is, you weren't overgiving them. They kept thinking, no, I'm a very good judge of character. I know people, I've dated a lot of people. And so I feel like they put in a lot more time with you than they realize. And what they realized, even though that they didn't give anything, they gave up their time. And so a person's time, energy, focus, that's why this person's obsessed, because it's almost like they didn't realize how much you were in their life, how much they thought about you. And I feel like it's because they were talking to a lot of people. I feel like they didn't value the connection. It's like this is the way that they perceived you. And that is not because, again, you deserve it. I just feel like it's like you talk to this person and this person knew down deep inside that they weren't really giving you anything. So to them, they're like, I know that I don't give anything. I know I talk to a lot of people. And every time I leave and I come back, I leave and I come back, you always talk to me. And forever, however long I want to talk, you'll talk to me. Or you always take my call. Or if you can't talk to me, you always call me back. Like there's a sense of I'm important in your life. It's like, but you're not that important in my life. Now, I don't feel like anyone's really important in this person's life. I just feel like they talked to so many people at one time that it was like, I'm not really giving to anybody. But in that, what they didn't realize is that every single time that they were talking to you, they were actually having conversation. Where I feel like a lot of those other people were like Instagram people, like people that, if they weren't, they would like chat room and it was all fantasy, like, oh yeah, I love you. Yeah, like we'll look at like we'll date, but it's like no one's really dating anybody. And it's everything's fantasy. Oh, I love you. Oh yeah, like I care so much about you. Yeah, let's do something together one day maybe, and it really then turns into some drama. It was never, like because that this person didn't really care. Again, they went for people that they perceived that were like lower hanging fruit, right? So that we're going to give them, that are loving, that don't expect that much in return. And so it's a sense of, them not giving anything, and then those people feeling betrayed and then getting annoyed and pissed off. And this person dodging out and not really caring emotionally. I don't care like that you're upset. It's like what happened with you is it's like you got annoyed. Now this person feels bad because it's like you weren't like one of those surface people that were like, yeah, baby, let me show you like my body. Let me, these people that it's all about like sexing and it's all about like fantasy. It's not wasn't real. Like, but every time you talk to this person, it was about real shit. It was about substance. It might not have been a lot, but this person couldn't deal with a lot anyway because they're so surface. So it was almost like over the course of a certain amount of time, this person got to know you and realized that like you actually were more important in their life than what they realize, is what I'm feeling. And now they're like, now they're seeing it. The timing just wasn't right. So they're like, the timing wasn't right. I wasn't ready for it. It's like, and I feel like this person was immature. And I feel like when I say immature, they like to have their cake and eat it too. At one time, they had a lot of different people and they weren't really given to anybody. And it was all about them. And it was a deep relationship. It's like it was surface again, and it was all about the physical. It wasn't here for a good time, not a long time. And at the end of it, maybe I might remember your name if you're lucky, because this, your person didn't really put the time in. It's like they felt like they didn't have to. Finding out the truth crushed me. It's like this person thought that you were going to be devastated. They thought that you were going to be devastated. And now there's a sense that they don't think that you care at all. I feel you even though we're apart. It's like I feel like this person's so obsessed that they're thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. And so it's like the thing is when a person keeps thinking about it, right? It's again when they're obsessing about it. It's this person like is becoming like delusional. Is like, I know that we're supposed to be together. I know that it's going to work out. I know that it's going to work out. Like this person is almost like, I feel like psyching themselves up, even though they know that they weren't really there for you. You know what I mean? Even though they know that they didn't treat you right. It was like, well, really, I just feel like you had boundaries, and this person just was so immature. That's when you met them. So they're going to downplay. They're going to downplay what they did. There's part of me that's like, do I want to channel? I want to look at, I'm going to pull some spiritual blocks, some triggers to see how they made you feel. And then we're going to channel a little bit. And let me see. Some of these cards are going the opposite way, and we don't want that. Okay. Okay, let's just pull three because I'm just curious. Um, Undervalued. So again, they made you feel undervalued, which again, that's obvious because they weren't giving you time. You know? Um, Illusions. So it's like, yeah, like this person like lied a lot. I feel like they gaslit a lot, coming in and out life. And also like you could see that they were lying too about like their life. Like there's a sense of them not ever really telling you anything, not allowing you to get close. So even if they were sharing things, like whatever they were saying and their vibe were always off. So there was a sense of, I really can't trust you. And I feel like you don't value me. So it's like, and I see how you treat other people and attention. See, like they again, that they need constant attention. Otherwise they get irritated and jealous that your attention is not on me. So there is a sense of like the attention, like they needed constant attention. And that's the thing. So it's like, unless you dummy down and settled for a lot less than what you deserved, this person wasn't going to be nice. They weren't going to give anything. And really, it was, like I said, an illusion. They were trying to create an illusion like they were actually like better, or this king almost, like this energy of I don't have to like give anything, do anything, be nice to you. You need to do that for me, where they purposely made you feel undervalued. But I feel like they're used to being able to do that with certain people. It's almost like they dated somebody that at one time like that they didn't have to give anything to, and the more like they weren't really nice to that person, the more that that person gave. So sometimes when people aren't healed, the more that they try to fix it. So at one point, your person was nice to would be nice to people and possibly was nice to you when you first met this person. But as time went by, they weren't nice. And so what happened is like you felt really undervalued. It's like again, and it's like what you're noticing is they had two sets of rules, one set of rules for you and one set of rules for themselves. So those were your triggers. So let's see, do some channeling and see, okay, so yeah, like the other part of them that's like that would like to heal this connection, believe it or not, would like to fix this because obviously they see that like they broke the connection for how they were, but they undervalued. That's why they're obsessing about it. It's like because it's like I almost like they know that they sabotaged the connection. um they feel as if that there's maybe a gathering or like some sort of thing going on within your community or that you or an event that you're going to be at or something that they can meet you there, right? So that you can meet there, but it would be in like a social setting. This person is kind of like hoping to bump into you because they don't know how you're going to react. They don't know how you're going to respond. Yeah, but see, there's a sense of, yeah, they want to transform this. They want to transform this energy. That's what it is. They want to transform it. But like I do feel like I do feel like it's because of they realize that they can't really conceal it. They can't really come from that masked part of themselves that they really can't. At this point, it's like they have to like completely transform it. They have to evolve the connection, and that's what I feel like that they want to do. Um, Even though because of they're gonna know it's gonna be a challenge because they avoided the situation for so long. They didn't want to like be open to it. They didn't want to, and I feel it's the fact that this that you don't want to be with this person anymore. They feel like you don't want to be with them anymore. And so it's really making them like just not feel bad. Like again, be like in crisis, right? But it also annoys them because it's like this person used to be have the upper hand. And the bottom line is it's like they don't have the upper hand and they're in pain. Like it says pain, right? Problems, poor health, ill, right? It's like this person feels sick and they feel sick because it's again, they create a lot of drama in their own life. And so, and they know like through like your job and the things that you're doing that you're not going to be sticking around. That life is going to take you into a different direction. So I feel like this person has a lot of anxiety. They feel like they're running out of time. They feel as if that they, kind of held back. I think that they waited for you to make some changes. And what they see is that you didn't. And so now, like, yeah, like I said, you feel like you're going to move on. And that's because you are, because they haven't given anything. They haven't done anything. They played a lot of games. Yeah, like it's again, and at this time, I feel like there is a big thing, like thing that likely that you are going to move on because they haven't given anything, they haven't done anything. It's like, and there's a sense that they procrastinate so long. It's like, and there was avoidance, and there was this, and it's like, yeah, they want to do it now, but it was after some time of fighting it and creating illusions, and so. want to just see. Um, don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is love and healing we require for reunion. So this person, like, again, knows that you don't really want this connection anymore. It's when they come back, I feel like they're coming back because it's almost like they sense you moving on. They sense you going into a different direction, that you've disconnected from them. And there's a sense of, oh, now I really like, now I'm panicking. It's like they didn't panic before because I feel like they could always feel you. That's like they would always, whether that was them because they were so obsessed about it, they had almost convinced themselves that this connection was going to work out. And I feel like they took so much time. And now I just feel like expand your concept of what twin flame is. It's more than romance. It's a deep soul activation to heal in order to embody love and light. So it's, again, I don't know, for some of you guys, it could be a twin flame relationship where there's always a runner and a chaser. This person, I feel like when you came into this person's life, they ran. They didn't want a relationship at all. They didn't want to, they had a lot of people in their life. They talked to a lot of people. Here for a good time, not a long time. I feel like they met you. You'd always talk to them regardless of how many people they ran around with, no matter what they did, how much time they gave you. So they began to think less of you because of that. And so I think that they misjudged you. And now it's like what they see is, again, that you were like, well, you didn't give me love. You made me feel unworthy. You make me feel like not good enough. You don't give me the attention, the time. Love. So you were like, peace out, I'm gone. And so now that it's really over and that you're disconnecting and their energy is off of them, and really saying again, going more into your own pursuits, right? Your own pursuits, like your own enterprises, like your own, like whatever it is that you're putting your energy towards. Well, this person is realized like that you're important to them now, that how much time and energy, now it's almost like they're mourning the connection. And so there's a sense of twin flame relationship because now what I'm feeling is the roles have completely reversed, that this person is like, oh, you don't really want this connection anymore. You don't really want me anymore. And so like the universe says, well, twin flame relationship, it's a lot more than just being in a relationship. Sometimes you're not with your twin because you're like already see like the writings on the wall that the connection would be, it would be so turbulent because a person's still not healed enough. They haven't stepped into their full divine self yet. And sometimes that person comes into our life to teach us our worth. They just show us something, or you show them something. Let me tell you something, if you're not with this person will regret it, the way that they treated you for the rest of their life. Because what they do know is that they do have feelings, and it took them a long time to figure it out. And so that's why there's a sense that they know that they were in avoidance of it. They didn't want to look for it, but that's the twin flame relationship. There's a runner and a chaser. Okay, so let's see. Our union energy needs clearing. Repeat this 11 times with slow, deep breaths. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. See, it's like, so it's almost like you got a person in your life that is teaching you the lesson of unconditional love, is teaching you about forgiveness, is teaching you again about how to be, how to accept forgiveness. So you might have been someone, Virgo, that grew up with a parent that did really harmed you in a way. Like again, you could have grown up with an alcoholic parent or an abusive parent, a narcissistic parent. Again, whatever it is, someone that couldn't be there for you, couldn't show up for you, couldn't be there emotionally for you. Okay, then not all the time is it physical or financial. Sometimes it's just they weren't there emotionally for me. So understand, when we grow up and we don't have that, a lot of times we feel like our life doesn't work. And we're like, our life doesn't work because you weren't there for me. Or we say, I don't realize I think I forgave, or I felt like I did forgive. I don't know why it's still affecting my life. And the reason why is because you didn't integrate the spiritual lesson. So even if you say that you forgave, if there's still energy of fear around that situation where you feel disempowered to go into a relationship or to navigate your relationship because of a past relationship, well, then you haven't 100% healed from that original relationship that created that pain. So the problem again is that you bring that situation but into your new situation by the way that you handle the situation, the perceptions of what you see. We see what we look for, and unconsciously, if there's trauma, we unconsciously look for that trauma, and the behaviorisms that we learned to, integrate to deal with those type of situations, they play out. So we get the same responses, we get the same manifestations rather from those experiences that we did from the original experience. So we want to make sure to break the karmic loop. The karmic loop is just reliving the same undesirable life experience. And the same undesirable life experiences, I attract people that don't give me emotionally. I attract people that don't make me feel good about myself. I attract people. So in order to not attract that, we have to heal ourselves at the basic level, and that really is through forgiveness. So that's why I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, I'm grateful for you. It's again, which is the spiritual lesson, but that's again, this is why you would be tempted to disconnect, because it's like it's so awakening of that wound from childhood, that original wound. And this is why it's the spirit says, well, expand your concept on twin flame relationship. You got this person come into your life to help you transmute those spiritual blocks of feeling unworthy, of not feeling good enough, of not feeling, and that's because and understand, you're going to be able to do it because there's passion between the two. If it's a real soulmate relationship, soulmate twin flame, there is passion. Doesn't mean you'll be with this person for long, but what it does mean is you'll be with this person to transmute that spiritual block. And there will be passion because that's the way that that energy is transmuted. It's through passion. Passion is fire. So it's also by watching this person change their behaviors. It's by actually seeing a different outcome for yourself. That's what integration is. Now, like I said, I feel like you guys will be together for a long time? No, ironically, I don't. I actually just feel like this person will be in your life to help you through this time. Again, and to transmute the spiritual blocks. And then I just don't feel, I feel like you're gonna wind up with somebody else. And the reason why is because spiritual twin flame relationships, there's a lot of challenges, right? There's a lot of challenges. It's like that's just what happens. So it can go either way. It's a coin toss, but my intuition, unless things heal a little bit more, my intuition leads me to believe that the staying power of this person is not long. I do feel like they'll eventually move on because twin flame relationship is difficult. You have to stay at a high vibration. You have to be willing to continue to evolve into the highest states of consciousness of unconditional love. That's obviously not where they started, why you came into their life, was to help them evolve into a higher state of consciousness, to appreciate relationships, to understand that people are not like food, like that you have enough to satisfy and then you're on to the next, that you have to nurture relationships, and actually that they can have intimacy and they can like restore those elements of themselves, because again, this person has those blocks from their childhood. So I mean, that's why you guys attracted each other, again, mainly to transmute those really difficult childhood wounds. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. You let me know whether you resonated, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.